So I made another video on how to disassemble this mouse, and basically this video will just show you every little thing you can do to reduce weight, and it'll show you how much weight each one of those little things will reduce. And I know this mouse is pretty light already, but you can get it really amazing if you do these things on it. I mean, even just 5 grams on a mouse that's 8 grams already is really noticeable. And you know, if you're like me, you just want to be able to scroll through your porn even faster, as fast as you possibly can. First thing, you just take this stupid hockey puck at the bottom, weighs 2.53 grams right there. I don't even know what that thing is for. I think these stupid things are for charging it wirelessly, completely pointless. Is another 2 grams. There's boom, 4.5 grams of trash removed right there. Next, you got to take this thing off to remove weight from the base if you want. It's the DPI button, completely pointless. You can still press the button too underneath it with a screwdriver anyway. I don't use it at all. There's the power button. You can take that out. You can still turn it on and off with the screwdrivers. You can see there, another 0.45 grams. Now you can cut this whole monstrosity here off. I think the only purpose of it is just to hold the wireless dongle when you're traveling. Kind of pointless if you want your mouse to be as light as possible. So that's a Dremel tool with a little saw blade on it. Gave it a really clean cut, as you can see. It's minus another 2.3 grams just from that thing. And then next, this is a step bit. They work really good because you can make the hole as small or as big as you want, and it's just on a normal drill. This is more just to put holes in it as for weight, because, you know, I'm a boy, so I just, you know, I like holes. I like to stick things in and out of holes. So really we just want as many holes as possible in the bottom of this thing. That's a lot of holes. That's really the main reason I removed the DPI and the power buttons too, just to add more holes. So that's another like 0.5 grams right there. There's this thing here on top of the scroll wheel. You can remove that. It's not really needed, I don't think. It weighs with the screws at 1.3 grams. There is a little bit of play in the buttons when you remove it, just a tiny bit. It's not bad, but it is noticeable. So you'll hear it rattle a tiny bit, but only when you shake it, not when you're playing or anything. You don't notice it when you're playing. It's only when you like shake the mouse. So with all that stuff removed, there's 10 grams almost right there. Next, you can actually use a smaller battery. I'll leave a link where you can buy the batteries. So look at how much smaller that one is that you can use. But you do have to cut the wires and then splice them together. Ideally, you would do this with you would solder them together, but I'm going to show you right here how to do it without solder. I've done this with a lot of electronics. It works really well and it lasts. That white wire, I don't know what it's for, but you don't need it. You can just cut it off. Obviously, you need to reveal the wire first. You can cut around it with a blade like that. And then you want to twist them together. The wires, though, on the that you take off of the actual battery that comes in the mouse are very, very thin. So you have to be really, really careful when you're revealing the wire for those and cutting them. Because a lot of times when I ripped the wires off to where I was cutting. Basically, you twist them together like that. Put some electrical tape around it. And then you just take a zip tie and you just tighten it really tight around the electrical tape, and then boom, I mean, that thing's not going anywhere. It's gonna stick like that for life. So that's how you can do it without soldering. 5.3 grams down to 2.2. So what is that? It's like over 3 grams, like 3.1 grams or something. To put it back in, you take some double-sided tape, put a piece of it right there. Just stick the battery in that little spot where the old one was. And now you screw that thing back on to hold it down. And I get about maybe 10 or 12 hours of use with this smaller battery, and that's with the lighting on, with the lighting about halfway brightness. And obviously you just plug it back in, you put it back together. Now if you're only going to use 2 of the side buttons, you can remove one of those, which weighs 2.38 grams with the 2 screws. And obviously you could remove all 4 side buttons, but I don't think anyone would really do that. And then those are the switches right there. You can remove that whole thing. You can cut it down there, which will break it, or you could desolder it there. And that weighs 1.63 grams. And then obviously you got the 2 side buttons. 0.5 grams. So all that stuff with the side buttons is another 4.5 grams. Here's what my mouse weighs, but still with all the 4 side buttons. Now if you remove the 2 of the side buttons like I showed you, get it down to 62.68 grams.
19.